I know I'm not wearing makeup again. I look better when I wear makeup, but this is the middle of the night and I need to film this because tomorrow I have a really full day because I am going to be out of town when this goes up. And that means that I need to have this filmed and edited and uploaded already before Friday. It's Book Review Friday, and today, as the title says, I am doing Obsidian by Jennifer L Armentrout. I know this is Lux Beginnings. I should be talking about 2 books, but I only read 1. I read this as part of the Little Book Club by Katerina from Little Book Owl. I will link the Goodreads group down below. I will also link down below the live show, but I want to do a mini version of things that were discussed on the live show, things that I felt while reading this, and just give you my honest opinion. Like many of those who read this in the book club, I wasn't a huge fan. This was like a 3 out of 5 stars, maybe a 3.5. For those of you who don't know what the plot is, Katie moves out to West Virginia and finds her neighbor Damon both very attractive and incredibly annoying. But then she finds out that there's more to him, his twin sister Dee, and their entire town as a whole, and gets sucked into something much larger than she ever thought she'd encounter outside of the books that she blogs about. Now, if you've read the summary, you actually know what the biggest secret is. Damon's an alien. The blurb on every version, on every little thing, in every review, is a huge spoiler. For a huge amount of the book, like half the book, they don't reveal that Damon is an alien. And it actually makes things incredibly frustrating. That's how I felt reading this book a lot. I felt frustrated more than anything else. And that was one of the reasons why. It's like, I don't know why she made it a big secret when it's right here on the back. There's an alien next door. That's the first line on the blurb on the back. Right there. There's an alien next door. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. And so it just drags the story down, and you're just waiting and waiting and waiting for the alien thing to be revealed. Another big thing is Damon. He's supposed to be the love interest. The series is over. There's 5 books in this series. They're all out. Everyone talks about how sexy Damon is. In fact, that's the first thing that I heard about this series. Damon is just a sexy alien. And he is the most annoying character in this book. He's more of an antagonist in this book than anything else. I've heard about that in Shatter Me, you know, book 1, Warner is the bad guy, and then in book 2, he flips sides and you learn more to him. Everyone talked about it, how no one expected Damon to be the bad guy, really. He's more of an antagonist than anything else. He's incredibly frustrating, and there are only a few moments where I like him, and the rest of the time I despise this guy, which makes the romance ridiculous. It makes it 100% fake to me. It reads like a trappy silhouette, Harlequin silhouette romance. That is a huge insult. I don't think there is anything on this planet written as poorly as a Harlequin silhouette book. I think that's some of the worst writing there is. The only thing that's probably worse would be most fan fiction. Fan fiction can be pretty bad. It can be pretty great. It can be really bad. And that is something that I despise. I despise the romance in this book. This is a spoiler, okay? There is a makeout session. I didn't even realize just how bad it was. It's beyond a makeout session. It is this close to sex. And I wasn't even positive they hadn't had sex until I realized, no, he's still wearing his pants. Pretty positive the girl's completely nude, if not just in her panties. I mean, it is raunchy, it is poorly written, and literally I was like nauseous. I was nauseous the whole time reading it, just because I could not stand that she was even slightly attracted to this guy. I'm like, this is what? It's just, no, I don't like that she wrote Damon this way, and then they had like a makeout session, and they kiss more than once. The very first time you meet him, that same page, he is condescending, rude, arrogant. You despise this character. And the very last page, the very last line of him being there, condescending, rude, despise this character. There was no character growth because he kept reverting back to it, and it's just really stupid. It's really stupid. People talk about how, like, Twilight right here, Twilight is the worst teen romance they've ever read. This beats it by a mile. Because Edward, even though he is abusive, he is not quite so in your face. And when he gets that way, you know, people talk about how, well, Katie doesn't take it quietly. That's true. She doesn't. She's not going to stand there and just take it. She fights back. But she fights back like a 2-year-old. And in fact, the whole time they're half flirting, half fighting, which is really stupid. It's just shoddy and it's horrible. Basically, if Damon's in the scene and they're talking or making out, I hated it. The romance is just poorly done, and it takes away from a good story. Last thing that I don't really like, before I talk about what of the story that I find good, is Katie being a book blogger. I always thought it was weird, because first she has this t-shirt that says, my blog is better than your vlog, or my book blog is better than you doing the same thing but on camera. And then she has a video. And I'm like, wait, what? She never reads one book, the whole novel. Not once does she actually touch a book beyond a haul. She never reads a word. She talks about how she's a book blogger, and it was amazing to watch the live show because I was 100% with everyone because they mentioned it, and then all of them are like, you're completely right. That is so not real. She's not a blogger. She doesn't do anything like a booktuber. She never has a book on her. She never actually touches her books. She never actually reads them. Bella would make a better book blogger because Bella quotes books. She quotes books in dialogue and compares it all the time to other books. She, not at all. It's so fake. Now, I mentioned the storyline is a good storyline. And it is, actually, if you ignore Damon for the majority of the book. If you take out that stupid makeout session that should not have happened. If you ignore all those very, very frustrating things, the voice is awesome. I loved the voice. The book sold me on it very quickly. Katie is a great character. She is amusing. She's fun to read. Katie actually has a ton of character development compared to Damon, which has like the character development of a toothpick. She is a very fun personality. She's great to read when she's not with Damon. And then the aliens themselves is so cool. This is spoilerific. These are aliens made up entirely of light. And these are aliens made up of dark. And they are trying to consume one another. I thought that was cool. They talked about it in the live show, and I went, that was really cool. I'd never heard of that type of alien before. Well, I kind of had, actually. I've heard a little bit of it, like in Xenon. I don't remember which one. One of the Xenon movies from the Disney Channel, but that was really lame. This was really cool. What Damon is, that whole shebang is really, really interesting. And I really do want to see more of the world. I want to see more of the Arum versus the... What is he? I want to see more of the Arum versus Damon's people. I want to see how that happened. I want to learn what happened to his family. And that was something that they talked about in the live show that I was completely with, is you just wanted to get into the world because the world is cool. The characters in it, not as great. Katie's all right, but her and Damon, the relationship just throws everything off. Am I going to continue reading this series? Yes, I am. As you can tell, I kept it, and I still have, I don't know if you can see it beyond these tabs, but I have my bookmark right in here, because I want to read Onyx. I want to continue this series, because I've heard book 4 and 5, I keep hearing those are the best. So hold your reservations on whether you want to read this series until you get to book 3. And at the end of book 3, I will decide, and if not, I'm going to read book 4, and then I'll decide. I am going to probably read the entire series before I make my full judgment. Kind of like what I did with Twilight, actually. Now, I'm definitely getting to the very spoilery section. I'm getting to the very big details. That's just what I wrote down. I have a lot of tabs in here. People who had the individual copies in the live show talked about how there are typos. A lot of typos. Like at one point, Dee and Katie were going to go out shopping, and instead it said chopping. I didn't encounter that. However, there was one when Katie is talking about her gardening. She says, I watched every show on TLC. Great, so she knows a lot about how to garden with Honey Boo Boo. TLC has nothing to do with gardening. This should have been HGTV, Home and Garden Television. That's what HGTV stands for in the DIY network. So those are the two networks that should have been mentioned, not TLC. It's like, what was the point of that? Going back to everything about the romance between Katie and Damon, her automatic sexual attraction, I thought was raunchy. I thought it was just poorly done. The makeout session, again, it's disgusting because you knew Damon was not going to treat her nicely. This was going to end terribly, and she was going to end up in tears. And guess what? That's what happened. And then in the final battle, Katie breaks her arm, right? Have you ever broken a bone? I have. When you are injured, especially something as serious as a broken bone, you can't move. Every movement that jars the bone sends level 10 pain waving from the spot, and it can go to you and make you nauseous. If it's like something serious, like a broken rib, it can make you vomit. It can make you see spots. Broken bones are incredibly painful. And I broke my foot. And when I broke my foot, I couldn't move. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything until I got in a brace. And even then, if I tried to put pressure down within the first week of me breaking it, I was down for the count. She broke her arm and gets thrown around and falls and then notices rocks. She wouldn't notice a stinking boulder. She would notice the boulder moved her arm and made her see spots or made her feel so much pain that she couldn't do it. I remember I tried to step down on my foot and I almost fell on the floor because I saw spots. I was like 10 years old. I had cracked my foot, just cracked it, and I saw spots by putting a tiny bit of weight and pressure upon the bone. Broken bones are not something that you can just forget about. That isn't how it works. And it acted like she didn't break her arm. It was like, oh, never mind, I just broke my arm. Really? One final thing that pissed me off. She doesn't know Damon. She knows his name and she knows he lives next door. She doesn't know who his family is, other than Dee. She doesn't know his parents. She doesn't know any family members. No clue who this guy's is, and she agrees to go to the middle of nowhere, completely alone, for who knows how long. Thank you, Jennifer L Armentrout, for just setting up every single girl to ensure that if a hot guy they have never met before offers them to go swimming and they don't trust him, it's okay to go, because no, he won't rape you, no, he won't attack you, no, he won't kill you. What? My rage. I gave up reading when I read that. And then I kept reading because I was like, whatever. And my friend's like, please keep reading. Keep reading. It gets better by book 3. But that is the stupidest thing. The other time, Damon actually pointed this out, which was nice, but this isn't as stupid as what she did by going swimming with Damon. A stranger approaches you for help in a dark parking lot and you go and help him? That has to be one of the most careless things I've heard in a long time. I bet you think things through, right? Accept candy from strangers and get into vans with a sign that reads free kittens, or go into the middle of nowhere just because a guy's hot and you want to spend completely alone, you're 15 minutes out, don't know if your cell will work, and he can absolutely overpower you because he's twice your size and weight. Yeah, that's not a recipe for getting raped and killed. Don't do that. I don't care if he's hot. I don't care if your parents are behind it. Don't go alone. Protect yourself. Don't go alone. Go with friends. Always, 100% of the time, make sure it's a public place, because even then, you may not be safe. Back to the positive side of things. I did find Katie hilarious. 1, 2, 3, 4th page of text, and I was giggling my butt off with my inner golden retriever kicked in and my ears perked up. Really? That is just hilarious, and it sunk me in. The best line, which I actually find ironic because Damon is one of the people that he looks down on in this line. One of the reasons I want to keep reading is because I'm hoping for more of these. Is Damon says to Katie, I always found that the most beautiful people, truly beautiful inside and out, are the ones who are quietly unaware of their effect. The ones who throw their beauty around waste what they have. Their beauty is only passing. It's just a shell hiding nothing but shadows and emptiness. And yet Damon falls into the latter category, at least in this book. But I did enjoy it enough that I'm going to keep reading. I did enjoy it. I hate the romance. That scene is the stupidest thing. The makeout scene's really stupid, and then, of course, forgetting her wrist was broken is really dumb. This video is going on really long. I did a huge rant about being safe. Please stay safe. Good luck with your reading. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to see more. This is October, so I'm going to have some more spooky things coming. Way more spooky than this. You like my monkey? I found him last year at Party City. He's this bright orange knitted sock monkey that's a bright orange mummy. So cute. Alright, good luck with your reading. It is Friday, which means that it is a who watched... And I will explain why. I don't know why I said that. I'm just being random because it's like 1:30 in the morning and I had a very stressful day today. The book is a spoiler. The book. Blech. The second worst. I can't get my thoughts out. It's like the worst romance teen. I want to turn my readers on. That's pretty much what Jennifer Armentrout did. It was just shoddy.